Hey guys, it's James from the Install Bay. We're going to show you how to cut a hole in the side of a boat so you can put a speaker in. Stay tuned. Working on boats can be a pain in the butt. Trying to find places to put things like speakers and amplifiers and stuff like that. They're really not made for that in a lot of cases. Like this particular boat is a flats boat, so it was never designed to have a stereo, but naturally the customer wants one. So there's a couple things you're going to want to keep in mind when doing this. First things first is you're going to make sure that you tape off the area where you're going to be mounting the speakers. This is very important. You also want to look behind the area where you're going to put the speakers. Make sure there's no wiring in the way, and if there is, make sure you move it. There's some special tools that you're going to want. One in particular is this cool thing right here. It's a water bottle, and we'll show you what that's going to do for you, but you're going to want a water bottle, and we'll get to that in a minute. Definitely don't want that. Now, there's two types of tools you can use to cut a hole in a boat that I've found work well for me. One of those tools is an air saw. You can also use a jigsaw with a fine-tooth blade, as well as some form of a roto-zip. Roto-zips work great for this. This just happens to be an air roto-zip. They're great for cutting the fiberglass, and that's where the water bottle comes into play. While you're cutting, you want to make sure you spray two things. It'll keep the blade nice and cool because cutting through fiberglass creates a lot of heat on the blade, and also it'll keep the dust to a minimum so you don't have fiberglass dust all over you and the boat. It makes cleanup a lot easier. So for this install, we picked the Kicker KM65s. They have a light inside of them. They have several colors to choose from. One of them just so happens to be green, which will match the interior of the boat. We need to trace a template onto our taped up area so that we can go ahead and start the cut. Okay, so sometimes you run into that where you're going to have double fun. As you saw, we just cut it, got into it, picked out the foam, and continued our cut. The water, when we spray in the water, as you can see, reduced the amount of dust. It's going to make cleanup a heck of a lot easier now. All we have to do is kind of just pick up the mud that it created. So the only thing left to do is to mark where we're going to pre-drill the holes. Always pre-drill the holes in the fiberglass. You don't want it to shatter, crack, and do all that fun stuff. So for this, a simple pick tool will work. Set your speaker in the hole, line it up to where you want it to be, and just kind of go in, wiggle it around a little bit. That's why we left the tape on. A quick trick when pre-drilling the holes, if you take the piece that you cut out and use your drill bit, you can test fit to make sure that you don't have the wrong size drill bit. You can drill a couple holes in there and thread it in and make sure that it's not just going to spin around inside. Now I love my cordless drills. I use them all day long, but when you're screwing into fiberglass, use a regular screwdriver. Alright guys, that brings this boat speaker installation to a close. If you'd like to find out more about these Kicker speakers, I'll put a link to our review unboxing in the show notes. You guys know where to find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We do these things 5 days a week, so there's always something for you to watch, so you might as well subscribe. Otherwise, you guys have a great night, and we will see you later next time. Bye.